Hello everyone, my name is Priya Gupta and I'm a faculty at Career Avenues. So this particular video is with respect to one of the sections in GATE architecture syllabus, that is environmental planning and design. So in this video, I'll be taking up a question from that particular syllabus section, and how I would proceed with it is I'll read the question out, I'll write the question too, and we'll understand each terminology in that particular question, and then we'll move forward with the question. Okay. So I'll present my screen. Yes. So starting with it, this particular question, as I said earlier, is from EPD, Environmental Planning and Design. The question states, we'll read the question first, we'll understand what are the terms here. A composite wall, I hope everybody is clear with what a composite wall is. It's a wall which is made up of two materials or more than one material, okay? Composite wall made up of two types of brick of U value, okay? U value. What is U value? We have to understand it here now. The overall U value of the wall will be what? So what the question asked is, if you make the diagram, see, whenever we read a particular numerical question, we should always start with diagram because that makes the question more clearer and it reduces the risk of usually try to comment during the examinations. So it is made up of two materials because it's a composite wall, right? So let this be A, this be B. Fine. It states that the U value of both the bricks is 15 and 5. We'll write it down. Let this be 15 watt per meter square degree Celsius and this be 5 watt per meter square degree Celsius. Now, before moving forward, to solve the question, I would want you guys to know what U value is. What are the other important quantities in this particular question that would come. So first is K value, small k, okay, small r, and U. What is K? This is thermal conductivity. I won't be teaching this particular part in detail. Okay, I'll just say what this is, and you can just have a knowledge so that you'll be able to understand what U value is and why are we solving that particular question in this way. Okay, conductivity, thermal conductivity, small k. Smaller r is the thermal resistivity. Big R is thermal resistance. U value that has been asked in the question is what? Thermal transmittance. I'll be writing their individual units in brackets because again, when we read this particular section of the syllabus, EPD, there are various numericals as well as theory questions that come into the picture. Okay, that can be in terms of units and the quantities, that can be in terms of numericals, obviously. So yes, thermal conductivity, I'll write down the unit. It's what? Watt per meter degree Celsius. This is Celsius per watt. This is meter square degree Celsius per watt, and this is watt per meter square degree Celsius. Fine. Now, what is small k? As in thermal conductivity, it is the rate by which heat can be transferred using conduction. Okay. This is how I teach. When I before proceeding towards the question, before proceeding towards the solving process, I would want you guys to know what individual terms are, because this is how your theory concept will also get cleared. Okay. So again, what thermal conductivity is? It's the rate of heat transfer by the method of conduction. Conduction क्या होता है? What is it? You can again go through, because behind every term there's another concept. Okay. So how does this particular unit come into the play? Rate of heat transfer. Heat ka unit is what? Joules, right? But when we say rate, it becomes joules per second. Joules per second is also what? Watt, right? Which is why watt is here. Transfer of heat by conduction. Now, how does this come? Meter, because when we talk about thermal conductivity, we talk in terms of length. Okay? Length. Hence, meter. Thermal resistivity is what? Heat transferring process. This is the unit which resists the heat transfer. Hence, resistivity. Right? This is the reciprocal of thermal conductivity. Thermal resistance. Again, this is the same thing. It's the resistance of heat transfer, but with respect to cross-sectional area. Fine. Cross-sectional area. And hence, here we see meter square. Fine. This two were in terms of running length. This is in terms of cross-sectional area. Now, what is thermal transmittance? This is heat transfer with respect to cross-sectional area. So, this two are with respect to areas. This two are respect to running length. Fine. So, now we'll proceed with the question. How do we solve this particular question? So, there's this relation, okay, between all of the four quantities. R value and U value. So this is the reciprocal of this, right? Here we multiply the thickness, and again this is the reciprocal of this. So right now, this was all about the basic concept, fine. Now we'll move towards the solving of this particular question, fine. So again, I'll read the question. Composite wall, we understood what a composite wall is. U value of both the material. At the end, what they asked is, what is the overall U value? As in, what would be the overall U value of this wall? Okay, overall U value. So, एक mistake that can happen here is, you directly add 15 plus 5. Write a note that we never add U values directly. Okay, we never add U values directly. Rather, what we can do is, we can convert the U values, individual U values, in terms of R value. We add up the R value and then convert it to U value. That can be done, but we cannot add U values directly. So in this particular question, what you do is, since I said what you can do, okay, you pause the video, you solve it by your own, look at the units properly. Okay, look at the units properly and then see if your answer matches with mine towards the end of the video. Fine. So now we'll start solving. First step is what? First step is U value you have to convert into R value. You'll get two R values, right? One is this RA and then you'll get RB. Fine. You add this, you'll get R overall. What is this U? This would be 1 by R overall. This is what we need. Fine. So we'll start. RA would be what? 1 by 50 watt meter square degree Celsius. What I did was I reciprocated it. Fine. Because 1 by U equals R and hence vice versa. 1 by R equals U. Okay? R B would be what in this case? For material B, 1 by 5. Again, I reciprocated the units as well. Write the units very carefully. Okay? So hence, what do we get? Calculate. Here we'll get 0.066. Here we'll get 0.2. Add it out. What you'll get is 0.266 meter square degree Celsius per watt. Fine. Now if you see the units, it's meter square degree Celsius per watt, right? What we want is U value, overall U value. What's the unit of U value? Here I wrote watt per meter square degree Celsius. Relate it with this. You can directly find out that what you have to do next is just reciprocate it. As I said earlier again, that this is the relation. We have the overall R value. The question is demanding for the overall U value. What we do is we'll just reciprocate. Okay. So U overall is nothing but 1 by R overall, which is 1 by 0.266. Reciprocate the units as well. What will it be? Meter square degree Celsius and watt. So we got the unit, which means that the process that we followed is correct. What would be the answer? 3 per meter square degree Celsius. So this is the answer that the question demanded. Fine. I hope this is clear to everybody. What we learned with this particular very simple question was the different entities, K value, R value, capital R value, U value, how are they related, this chart, what are the units, why is it watt, because we always talk in terms of heat. Then what are the different ways where we can find out the overall R value, and very importantly, this line that we never add U values together. So this is my tip to you guys, that whenever you go through, whenever you solve a question, do not just solve it, but have an in-depth concept behind the question, behind the terminologies used in that particular question, because GATE never asks direct question. They have a very new way of asking questions these days, so it's always better that we go through the question in a very in-depth manner. Okay, so yeah, this is it. Thank you, and you guys can join me at Career Avenue's special numerical batch only. Yeah, that's all. Thanks.